There are forests that are unseen on any maps. They are made of silence, of lights of silver, of winds that carry forgotten places. The traveller did not mean to stumble into the forest. It rose with questions, as though the land itself wanted to give the answer. A path of mist took form, though no road led there. The traveller had been walking for what seemed like days, or perhaps even a lifetime, following a thread of feeling that was neither here nor there, but seemed somehow older. The forest slowly took shape within the fog and mist. The trees were tall and trunks veined with green fur. Moss shimmered underfoot like starlight fallen to earth. The patterns of the flora not like any other, abstract and dreamlike. Some were distant. Water sang with an unknown rhythm. The traveller paused and listened, and in the stillness a feeling, a soft stirring. This world held its own dimension. Leaves trembled, though no winds moved them. Time drew close and watched. Out of the hush stepped the stag. It emerged as though born from the forest itself, not moving forward, but nevertheless revealed. Its head lifted from the shadows, antlers glimmered with the here and now. Its coat caught the light of dreams and all of our wishes in the making, and there turned it all into possibility. Neither creature nor human moved. The traveller felt recognition, like a silken word once forgotten, and yet once loved deeply. The stag looked on, and the gaze was endless. In its dark eyes lay rivers, moons, and clocks that ran backward. It was not an animal then, but a mirror in which the traveller saw a knowing, and seemingly had reached a threshold not of steel, wood, or stone, but of being, between what was known and what is waiting. The stag turned its head slightly, inviting without command. Its breath shimmered in the cold earth, which smelled of summer rain and winter's end. The traveller followed, walking through the forest that now felt spacious, but somehow had edges. With a sense of falling inward to a dream or to a memory, with the pulse that sleeps beneath all living things. Around them, the forest changed, and the colours deepened. The trees grew translucent, their trunks fading, like sunsets of all our yesterdays. How can there be a moon and a sun at the same time, thought the traveller. Soft music drifted between the branches and wove through the land itself. The traveller understood none of it, and yet understood everything. The musical notes were made from the rhythm of tides, of crescent moons, and untold love. The stag moved ahead, not hurried, and yet not still. Every step it took opened the world a little more. Flowers unfurled, petals whispered of the other ages and realms, and all the while the traveller felt a deep current shifting, a remembrance of something being answered in unmeasured time. The forest widened into what could have been a glade, or perhaps a lake of water. The traveller was unsure. Trusting, he placed a foot forward, and the ground was solid beneath. The air was soft with silver stars, and the sun above vast, but then again as near as lanterns. The stag stood at the centre, crowned with both shadow and light. Its antlers seemed to hold the constellations and galaxies, slow turning, infinite and beyond years. The traveller felt the old world falling. It tumbled away along with people's names and laden burdens with frayed edges and jagged feelings. All that had once seemed so very real suddenly dissolved and was gone. And then, without words, the stag spoke. A sound somehow from within deep silence, bringing a message that can only be felt. It said, "You have come to a place where endings and beginnings meet, of thresholds and boundary. You have carried your questions long enough." The traveller knelt and tears tinkled tangle of what was once mourned and what was once celebrated. The stag lowered its great head until its nose touched his skin. In that touch, a flood of visions of this life, seeing himself as seed and root, as sunset and the storm. Theo felt the turning of seasons. Within his eyes, each cycle a ticking of the earth clock. Understanding nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed. That the soul is not a traveller moving from one world to another, but a causeway between them, with true colours that never dim or fade. The vision passes, the forest settles, and the music grows stronger, swirling through the leaves and new buds, voices of the unseen, with laughter like rain on a tin roof, songs from the fair whose realm lay beyond. The traveller rose, the stag's eyes brighter now, with the fire that lived behind them. It stepped closer, antlers brushed branches, and new blooms fell, glowing faintly and dissolving before they reached the earth. The traveller reached, curious to touch, but the stag moved backward into the crystal mists. Each step dimmed its form until only the gleam of antlers remained. Two crescents with moonlight and dawn, and as it left, with it went the song. Silence again. The traveller stood alone, but the forest had changed. He had changed. Every leaf now seemed to vibrate with a quiet knowing. The wind carried synergy that matched his own heart, the breath of the world moving through him. He understood that the stag had not left, only dissolved into everything, the moss, the mist, and the moorlands beyond, into light and stone and water. He turned to go, finding a narrow path edged with silver fern, each step giving strength and awareness, a warm whisper rich with well-being, a trust unseen, and an echo of presence. Theo walked until the trees thinned, towards the light of his horizon, looking back to see no forest, only a shimmer in the distance, like a veil between the waking and the dream. Yet within his heart the forest remained. The stag's gaze, the silent message, the pulse of music and unseen realms, all lived now within the traveller. And with each step into the ordinary world, he carried the knowledge that change is not an end, but a passageway. That nature itself speaks if one listens with more than ears. That silence can be a guide, and somewhere beyond the edge of sight and time, the stag watches, a still guardian of thresholds, a keeper of the potential for new beginnings, an antlered spirit of renewal. It waits for those who dare to wander beyond their reason into the living mystery where all worlds meet. Sometimes, when the dusk gathers and the air turns to silver, the traveller feels the presence beside him, a fleeting glimmer between trunks of trees, through blades of grass and sun-kissed petals, a soft sound like hooves on moss, sensing the veil is thin. And though no creature steps forward, Theo feels the stag. The pulse, a wordless invitation to listen deeply and hear the oldest song of all. You are never truly lost. Step forward and cross your threshold. There are forests that are